Hello and welcome everyone to the Friday, July 25th edition of the Contributor Comms team meeting. As a reminder, this meeting, just like all in the Kubernetes community, operates under a code of conduct which essentially says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and attendees and generally be excellent to each other. Here at the beginning of the meeting, we like to offer an opportunity for anyone on the call to introduce themselves if you would like to, totally optional. And I like to use this as an opportunity to explain what the meeting is, so I will go first. Hello, everyone. I'm Caslin Fields. I'm a co-lead of this subproject, which is the Contributor Communications subproject within SIG Contributor Experience, which I'm also a co-chair of. But the purpose of this meeting is to talk about contributor communications. The goal of our group is to make sure that folks within the contributor community in open source Kubernetes know about things going on that they should know about, and also that folks outside of the Kubernetes contributor community know about the awesome work that contributors are doing, which we achieve through a variety of means, including managing social media accounts for the project, sometimes writing blog posts, the Last Week in Kubernetes Development newsletter, and things like that. My pronouns are she, her. Would anyone else like to introduce themselves? Totally optional. And I'll change my name from Contributor Experience.
Hey folks, Chris Short here. I apologize for my voice in advance. It has been strained the past couple weeks. But I'm the other co-lead of the sub-project here and have been around the project a very long time. So happy to help anybody that's looking to get involved. Pronouns are he, him, and I'll leave it open to everyone else.
Hey everyone. So I am Arpit Agarwal, and I finally came on the call after a long time. So I am a contributor in LWKD for the past few weeks, and I have been a part of the community for like 2 years. So happy to help anyone, and I basically contribute to blog and stuff, and generally available on the Slack. So yeah.
Welcome. Good to see you, Arpit.
Yeah, always nice to have you around, man.
Yeah, I think we've got some tasks to get updates from you on, so I look forward to doing so. Anyone else want to introduce themselves? Totally optional, so I'll leave it open for a minute, and if nobody wants to, we'll move on. Anyone else? Welcome to now. Alrighty, I think we'll move right along into our agenda then. I have put the link to the notes doc in the chat. I'll put it in again in case anyone missed it. So do hop on over there and add yourself as an attendee. I believe two more housekeeping items. One, this is a very casual call. If you missed the introductions, you want to introduce yourself later, feel free to pop in and do so. Ask any questions along the way if we talk about something that you've never heard about and you want to know more about it and you want us to explain a little bit better, please do just hop in and let us know. And then the other last housekeeping item is note taker. We like to ask for a volunteer to take notes during the meeting. This is so that anyone who missed the meeting could check out the notes and see what happened. Or more often, honestly, we check the notes for the SIG ContribEx meeting that happens every other week in Americas versus APAC time zones, which is the parent group of this group. And we try to give updates on what this group is doing there. So we actually usually check the notes for that. So the role of the note taker is to follow along with the discussion and, as best you can, take notes on what we talked about. Would anyone like to take on that role today?
I don't do this because we normally create work that I end up doing in the meeting.
Which I very much appreciate. Understandable. Still welcome to take notes, though. Someone in the chat said that they won't be able to unmute today, which is perfectly fine. We can also do chat communication in these meetings. If there are no volunteers for note taker, I'll probably end up doing it myself. Really, it's a group effort, so if you hear something that you want to make sure is noted, please do help us out by taking notes. And I'll just put myself as it for today, unless somebody particularly wants the credit.
Did you see Frederico's comment in the comms channel?
No, I have not. That sounds like a great place to start. What is it?
We just need to make sure we allocate time for it. That's all. Some debate is necessary.
All right. I'm just going to read it aloud and we'll start there. He's joining a little bit late today, so hopefully he'll be on a little bit later. But the retro from the 1.34 release added an action about the release comms topic, which is something we talked about in this meeting last time. We own the social media accounts for the project. We can help out with a wide variety of types of comms, like using the Slack bot to communicate with folks inside of the Kubernetes Slack, which are very useful things theoretically for release comms. But release comms is its own team that is owned by release and rotates with each release. So they don't have access to all those tools. So ideally, we should be working together to give them access to those tools for the duration of the release and things like that. So that was brought up in the release retro. And continuing to read Frederico's comment on it is the idea being adding something to the release lead rulebook, since the kind of communication that is likely useful comes from the lead. We can, however, debate in a pull request, which I'm creating against the rulebook, so release comms could also be added. Very interesting. So it got shifted from a role, from something that the release comms lead would have to do, was what our thought was. But I guess in the discussion on the retro, they shifted it toward the release lead instead of the release comms lead. That's weird to me. I wish I had been able to be on that meeting the whole time to hear that conversation.
Yeah, I really wish I was there. But to be fair, the release lead would know all comms that may need to go out, right? Like
This is true.
I can understand that. Like they might understand some things better than, a comms team, first time volunteer kind of thing. There's always that.
So we have the context here. We can watch the recording of that meeting. I believe the retro is definitely recorded. And there's also the notes from it that we could check out. But we'll save that. Yeah. We've got the context on it now, and we'll come back to it when Federico is on.
Sounds good to me.
Thank you. So let's hop back over for now to messages of the week. Anything going on in the Kubernetes community that we should ideally be putting out comms about? The Maintainer Summit CFP is closed.
Yes. And thank you.
Election officer confirmation, I think, went out this week. So there should be movement on elections in the next week or two. So we might want to put that down as a note.
There is the code freeze.
Oh, yes. When is that? I think we had a note about it. Yeah, code freeze started yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's useful to do comms about that now, but election officers have been selected, should hear news on elections soon. Code freeze is in effect. Probably doesn't need comms, but good to know.
I mean, if it needed sometimes that only go out the contributor channels, but I'm not sure.
Yes.
We typically haven't done that, like for code freeze, at least not in a long time.
Yeah.
I don't think. But long time to me could be more than a quarter. So
Yeah. Um,
interesting.
we had a good conversation about the release stuff. I attended half of the release meeting, but I had another meeting in the second half, so I went and did that. And then we talked a lot about the Project Pavilion kiosk shenanigans, which technically that stuff is closed now, but we're probably going to work with the CNCF to get that sorted out.
Oh, was that discussed in the release meeting, or is that not new?
It was something we discussed in this meeting last time. It's really more of a
Right.
SIG ContribEx level conversation, unless we need actual comms about it, which at this point I don't think we do yet, but probably closer to KubeCon we'll have some comms about that whole thing. If you want to hear what's going on with that, maybe check out last time's recording. Try not
Yes.
to give the whole background right now. So that's it from things from last time. Any other messages of the week that folks have thought of?
Swathi did ask, is that why a lot of people requested for exceptions via email because of the code freeze? Which exceptions are you referring to?
I think that is about the org
Yeah.
membership audit. So there's also currently an org membership audit going on, which we probably should have done comms about that. I think that they intentionally selected to do it the way that they did. But
Yeah,
we
should
have
be.
the organization on GitHub where if you're contributing regularly, you can get org membership to get extra access to tools like our Prow bot, which we use to set up our PRs and issues, right? Put labels on them, put holds on them, all that kind of stuff. Um, you can't really use that unless you're an org member. And also, it's a lot easier to assign people to things when they're org members. Generally makes things easier if you're contributing regularly. But if you're not contributing regularly, then you don't need to be an org member and you don't need access to all of those kinds of things. So we do have a process to audit who's active, who's not, and remove the folks who are inactive. So I think they were requesting exceptions to being removed from the Kubernetes org on GitHub due to inactivity. Yeah.
There you
Thank
go.
you for asking. Thank you for
Yeah.
paying attention. I'm so glad that you saw that.
No, that's a good question. And yeah, they could have been. There could have been exceptions for code freeze, but those are usually very limited.
Yeah, I could ask it's the tech leads of SIG ContribEx who run that audit, so I could ping them, uh yeah, I could ping them to ask if they need any comms about that at this point.
I would be hesitant to mention, hey, if you need to keep your org membership, there is an exception process. I wouldn't want to overflow that with bad
Exactly. I think that's
requests.
why we haven't at this point. They were
Mm-hmm.
very careful. I know that they mentioned, there was some issue where they intentionally didn't tag all of the folks who could be losing org membership because they didn't wanna overwhelm that issue with responses.
Yeah, exactly.
So they are a little bit careful about how they do the comms about that process, but that is a really good thing for us to talk about. I don't know that we've
Mm-hmm.
ever talked about that in the comms team before.
Wow,
I
fun.
Such a
guess
large project.
in the like if I'm not wrong, when I get my org membership, there is a doc or something, some guidelines are there, which clearly mentions like if you don't contribute in a year, then your org membership will be removed.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So yeah, like it is not surprising, like if they receive like if they receive an email that your org membership is removed. I don't think that's an element of surprise because I think everyone go through that guideline doc once.
And yet it still happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you are right. Shouldn't be surprising. It is documented. But always good to let folks know. Comms is all about saying the same thing all over the place to make sure that folks actually get the message. Yeah, so I'll check in on that on Slack. I should probably do that right now. And while I do that, any new items? We'll go ahead and move on. Any new items that folks have heard that, because that's basically a new item.
Yeah,
Anything
basically,
folks
So
have
I
seen?
have one.
Uh-huh. What you
I
got?
want to discuss, and I have also like posted it on the comms channel, maybe like a couple of days before. So I'm going to keep on India, and I have a recording setup. So I have a proper mic, a proper tripod, and all. So I can record interviews and stuff. So what my idea is that the spotlight blogs like we do as a blog. So last time when I went to Kipon Delhi, I noticed that many folks, like I noticed a bunch of people from steering. I met Bob over there. I met a couple of folks as well. So I can record something. So my idea is the questions what we ask in the spotlight blog. I can actually ask them from them. They can reply it on recording, and I can edit the video as well. And like we can post the video wherever we want. Not sure about the exact process, but this is an idea I can execute. I can at least execute the recording and stuff. So I have couple of questions on that. First, like what should be the recording format? Should I be in the recording, or should I do like a recording in a short form, like that vertical form where only the person is speaking and the host is basically behind the camera? Or should I be doing it like one on one, like both of us are there? So it's a landscape form where I will be asking a question and the other person will be answering. Or like if I manage to find a couple of folks from the same SIG, like if I happen to find Divya and other colleagues in a place and I happen to like get a time slot. So or it is like something like that happens in KubeCon, like one is a host and other are like answering. So what would be the format and like what is the acceptable format actually to work with this? So these are a couple of questions I have with this,
I
and like,
no.
what do you all think about the idea as well?
Do you wanna go with opinions first, Chris, or shall I?
I'd like to hear yours first, to be honest.
Okay.
Why I stopped.
So
Sorry.
we do have precedent for this kind of thing. Bart did some like contributor highlight videos in the past when he was part of this group.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
one thing that I've said before is that like KubeCon submissions are not the place for those kinds of stories. So we should have other options for folks to tell their contributor stories if they think that there's benefit to the community to tell those stories. And largely the kinds of projects that we can do depend on people wanting to do them. So thank you, Arbit, for wanting to do a project.
Yeah.
In terms of the format, when I go around KubeCon and do podcast interviews, which are not video, just the audio.
Audio
Hmm.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I literally just attack people that I don't know. I literally walk up to random strangers like, "Hi, I've never met you before. Would you like to be on a podcast?"
Okay.
Wow. How's
That's
that? How
And like
effective is
and
that?
like
Just out of
no, like
curiosity.
people love it.
Okay, good. All right.
It's
Fair.
very terrifying.
no, like I have a like follow up question on that. Like, how do you like break ice? Like let's say you don't know me and you came to me like, hey, can we have a podcast? So the first thing that came to my mind is like what we are going to talk about,
Yep.
or whether
I have I
like
have
I have
5
one thing.
questions that
Okay.
I ask at events, and it's always the same 5 questions. It's, "Who are you?" And
Fair.
Okay.
then, "What were you hoping to get out of this event? What's your favorite thing that you've learned so far? What are the big trends you're seeing? And, what would you like to see at future iterations of this event when it's KubeCon? What would you like to see at future KubeCons?" So I show them the list of questions. I'm like, would you like to be on this podcast? And also, it's
Um,
for work. So I have a release form that they have to sign. So I'm like,
Oh,
here are the
yeah.
questions. Here's the release form. Read these 2 things. If you're interested, we'll do it right now. Here are my mics. I will tell you how it works and we'll do it. And usually people are like, yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it. Unless they work at a company where they're not allowed to do
Got it.
that kind
Got
of
it.
thing.
Nice.
Okay, so I have actually recorded 5 interviews in KubeCon Delhi, but that is for a YouTube channel called Cube Simplify.
Nice.
So basically, I have recorded maintainers. So I have recorded an interview from Bill, one from Christoph, one from Wendy, one from I forgot, but he is the CTO of Grafana. And so I have
Yeah,
recorded
nice.
bunch of interviews, and all of them are landscape format, where I am talking to them, and in the recording, me myself has been present. So I am talking them face on face. Like I am standing here, the other person is standing here, and we are conversing. So that is the format I have recorded. I have recorded the shorts one also. Like the Wendy one is the short form because I recognize her from the mails. And then because I have been to that peering session, what happens in KubeCon, so I got a chance to speak with him. So again, I'm carrying my mic and all, and I am doing the same thing. Here's a mic, here's a tripod. I can record it intensely. So uh, but what kind of format, like if we want to like upload it, like particularly somewhere, let's say on Kubernetes website, what sort of format will work there? Because I don't want to record in an inappropriate format, and then I don't want a rejection over the format itself.
I mean, it's not like we have very stringent guidelines, but so I think to some degree the format is up to you, what you think you can actually achieve.
Okay.
And I think you're trying to do like contributor stories. So the way I would target going about it would probably be in India, unfortunately, there's not a maintainer summit. So finding the maintainers might be a little bit of a challenge. You might have to talk with folks in advance to kind of set things up.
So okay,
Yeah.
so here's the update. So I will not be only in KubeCon. I will
Mhm.
be in OpenSSF, which is on
Oh, nice.
4th,
Yeah. Mhm.
and I will be also in Open Source Summit.
Nice.
And then I will be also attending KubeCon. So my whole week is spam. That is why I have this idea
Have
of
fun.
record. So I will be attending couple of events. So my idea is to because I want to put out myself as a like public speaker, so that I can also improve my public speaking skills. So I found this as an opportunity to like go and talk to people, improve my skills as well, and if I can some sort of a way, find a way to contribute to Kubernetes with that thing also, because I have that whole setup. So I don't have that blocker where I cannot record anything. So yeah.
Makes sense.
I've done recordings at KubeCon in the past, and when they
And
did not
yeah,
align directly with Kubernetes specifically, I just posted them on my own site. But when they did,
mm,
um, we tried to turn one into a Spotlight blog, and that really did not work. So, um, but it's, like if you have a good interview and you don't think it perfectly matches up with Kubernetes, you can always post it on your own kind of thing.
Yeah. So would encourage creating the
okay,
content either way. And for Kubernetes, we would just be looking for, contributor stories related to Kubernetes. I don't think there's a
okay,
whole lot of guidelines that we need to put in place.
got it.
No,
You
as
might
far
have
as
to try it for us to find out.
yeah, as far as format goes, right? Like in Kaslan's case, I think that like the podcast format where the voice is the thing that's elevated, right? Like if
Yeah.
you're asking the same questions in Kaslan's case, then we need
Yeah.
to amplify the person and not necessarily you.
True.
If you're
Yeah. I would just
asking
have them on screen instead of yourself. Yeah.
bingo, if you're asking kind of in-depth questions with follow-up and everything else and like you're engaging in the conversation, I would say it needs to be like the side-by-side kind of thing or um more Zoom like video.
Got
Uh,
Yeah. Good advice. Thank you, Chris.
no problem.
What do you think, Arpit?
yep, it totally makes sense. Also, apart from like Kubernetes, like contributor stories is one thing. Like that's a one topic to cover. So apart from that, like what sort of topics I can cover? Like there's one aspect where I will be covering contributor stories, but like apart from contributor stories, for example, the recent steering spotlight I wrote. So if I happen to find someone from the steering, so I can ask the same questions which I have prepared in the blog for the blog, and we can have a video version of that blog. That is also something that is in my mind. So
I like that. And if you have
how
like
about it?
a contributor who led a specific feature or has done like a really cool specific role like steering, I would ask them specific questions about that. So it wouldn't necessarily be about their story, but about the work that they've done in the contributor community. Yeah, also valid.
So let's I will try to execute it.
Go, go, go.
Yeah, I'm all for this. I'm hoping it works out well.
Yeah. Half the battle is just having someone who wants to do it and is willing to put time and energy and equipment into doing it because we don't have budget to do that kind of thing because we're not a business.
Nope.
But
yeah,
thank you, Arpit, for the interest.
thank you. Yeah,
We'll see what we
indeed.
can do to support you. All right. So I think we can talk about that more as you develop more questions about it. For now, I think that's a go and you start making plans. Any other new items or any updates, big wins that folks have had recently? Big wins often used to be like we got a blog post published, but without doing much blog post publishing is a
I
little
will be
slow.
having one next week.
Yay,
Oh, cool.
that'll be exciting. Maybe we should go on ahead to the board and talk about the updates we're tracking there.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
All right, shall we start with yours, Arpit? You've got Steering Spotlight blog. It's currently in preliminary
Yep.
review.
So for steering, Federico messaged me that he cannot find the link. So I have sent it.
Okay.
I am also sending it here as well, so you can attach it to the so.
We have several folks on the call who have been interested in doing proofreading of blogs. So this one is open for that, right? You're ready for proofreading feedback? Arpit?
Yep.
So if you're interested in proofreading, we would very much appreciate it if you took this link and assuming this link works.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, you might have to copy paste the whole thing or yeah, you have to copy paste the whole thing instead of clicking at least on the web client, but the web client is weird.
No, yes. I was like, it opened for me.
Yeah. I had to copy paste it because for some reason the full link didn't work. Web client. But please take a look at this blog and proofread it. So I'll put that as like a update request for proofreading.
And is this one good to proofread for like grammar, format, etc., or wait until after content is reviewed?
Go ahead and proofread for grammar and those kinds of things on this one.
Okay.
Yep.
That's
and when
always
it's not
appreciated.
in a PR, how do I recommend changes?
So in
So-
HackMD, you can comment. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's actually why
Yep,
we do it
and-
this way.
Got it.
And like if you don't have access to it, just ping me. But if I am right, I have actually give the read and write access for everyone. So
Okay.
like you can be careful not to delete anything, but you can always comment.
Okay,
And
thank
like
you.
if you cannot access it, just ping me. I will give you access on your email ID.
Okay, thank you.
Here's what HackMD looks like if you've never worked in it before. I hit the edit button on the previous page. Yeah, it was here, and I hit edit. And I was able to I can go in here and make changes that will show up over here.
Oh, perfect. Looks like I can too. Fabulous.
Nice. And I think you can also make comments. I think it's this button. Oh no, that made it a
No,
quote.
like for comment, I guess you
No,
need
comment,
to.
you go back. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You go back, you highlight the area, and like if you click in it,
comment.
there you go.
Comment.
Yeah. So you can make direct changes if it's like a tiny little spelling error that you want to fix or something like that. Or you can make comments on your thoughts. And feel free to make comments as a reader about the content as well, because the goal of these kinds of blogs is to teach folks who don't know anything about these kinds of groups within the project about what they are. So if you find it confusing, then that's useful feedback.
Fabulous.
Thank you. I'm so excited, Susan. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Awesome. Thank you, Arpit, for writing that. And thank you, Susan, for volunteering to proofread. And anyone else who wants to proofread, thank you for taking a look. Anything else you want to say about that one, Arpit?
No, I guess Federico will review it. So, yeah. That is
Perfect.
something. And for SIG docs, like I guess that will be the next one to get update on. So what my plan is as I will be attending KubeCon India. So if not, I know there will be a lot of folks from SIG docs over there. So I will try to get answers from them in written form as well. I can get written answers like on the go itself. So my plan is to do take a different take on this one because there is already a SIG docs spotlight. So planning a little bit different, but don't have a POC right now. So we'll try to execute something and we'll try to get it done post KubeCon.
SIG Docs really needs help right now, so I think it's valid to do another one,
Yep.
even if there's been one in the past, especially focusing on the blog reviewer problem.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. And I will be talking to Sriram on that as well because he will be there.
Honestly, maybe we should reframe this one. Instead of a SIG Doc spotlight, we should make it a call for help on blog reviewing. If they can
Yep.
clearly state what they need from blog reviewers and we can, in a way that they are comfortable publishing publicly on the blog, I think that they would get folks volunteering to help them. That might not be what they need. It might be the problem because they are currently limited because of the number of people that they have reviewing blogs, and they still have to review blogs, and then they also have to mentor people. So they don't exactly need a deluge of people trying to fill that role for them because they probably can't teach that many people at once. So talk to them about what they need and how we might be able to help. Maybe it is better to frame it as a SIG Doc spotlight and just have that little call out within it so that it's not a complete deluge, but maybe still brings attention to it. Talk to
Yep.
them about what they need. Thank you for looking into that one. I think that'll be very helpful. Other things in the board that we might want to go over. There's a working group policy spotlight blog. I think this one got stuck in the horrible cycle of trying to get the date fixed. Oh, and then I think the working group dissolved or something. I said that here because I thought I saw that in the comment. Working group policy has concluded its work and disbanded.
Yeah.
Woo! Rougeval, I see
The
that you're
blog
on. Do
needs
you
to
want to say anything?
turn into a retro.
I just find it hilarious that that working policy group got dissolved before my blog could come out.
I need to turn on captions because my headphones are not very good today. Apologies about that.
Am I not audible?
Yes, you are, but
Yes, you are.
my headphones kind of suck. So please say that again now that I have captions on.
No, I was just saying that I find it very hilarious that that group got dissolved before my blog could come out.
Yeah,
Oh,
that is
yeah.
really funny. So are you working on transforming this blog into like adjusting the framing of it to say like this is what this working group did? Because I think there is still
Uh,
value in that because folks don't know what working groups do, and the point of them is
Yes.
for them to dissolve. So I think it's really cool actually to have a story about like here's a working group, it did its thing and then it dissolved. But are you working on that? Are you interested in that?
yeah, I mean, if it's valuable, then sure, I will work on
Yes,
it.
it is valuable. 100%. Caslin's
Mhm.
right in the sense that like working groups are not well understood in the community right now. So at least having that kind of content with a framed, here's when they started, they've disbanded already, but here's what they accomplished. And this is how the working groups work in Kubernetes project.
Yeah, sure. Then I will update the dates.
So like I have a question, like WG policy is dissolved into a, like it mixed up into a SIG, or like it is now a separate SIG?
Yeah, that's pretty much the two ways that a working group can go. Either normally a working group shouldn't own any code. Anything that it produces should be owned by SIGs. Often they cross SIGs, so sometimes the work is owned by multiple SIGs. But so then they would dissolve and those SIGs would just continue owning whatever it is that they came up with together. And then the other option is that the working group work becomes so big and unique that it has to become a SIG of its own. Those are pretty much the two things that happen.
So like what one happened with WG policy?
So it looks like this one says working group policy has concluded its work and disbanded. So it seems like what happened here is they created some artifacts probably that are owned by one or more SIGs, and now it's gone. Is my guess as to what happened. But I would love for Arujval to teach us. Maybe we should start having lightning talks in here in the absence of blogs.
I did read a little bit about how working group policy, like how working group generally works. So it was like um, 2 or 3 SIGs collaborate on something, then they temporarily form a group, and that is already pre-planned that it is going to get dissolved after some time. So it's like for a temporary job.
Yep,
So
sounds about right.
Like sounds like a Kubernetes job. You can like frame a blogs. You can like frame a blog like this. Like I don't know, like maybe you shared the ability to find a like title for it, but you can like correlate it with Kubernetes jobs in some or the other way, and frame a nice title and frame it that way. So that way it will be a very interesting blog to read to someone who knows Kubernetes, and to someone who don't know Kubernetes, they will learn a Kubernetes concept.
I look forward to your Maintainer Summit submission.
Oh, wow. Here we go. That closed, though. Joking.
It did,
Oh,
but
yeah.
honestly, you might be able to still get into KubeCon North America.
Let me know how. Like
Yeah,
I have reached
we
you
can
out.
talk about it.
Yeah.
I have reached you out, but what happened is the next thing I got is from my manager, and I got on a call with him, and then I like forgot about it.
Understandable. Ping me on Slack about this. Maybe
Yep.
me, Chris, and Mario in a chat. That would be the most effective way to do this.
Okay, I will ping you.
Yes, but also KubeCon EU. That one will be opening up at some point, so you could always save it for then. That'll be a while though. Time. Awesome. So thank you for the updates on that, Arujval. And let's see what else we have. We talked a little bit about the comms team issue created thing. It's an evergreen thing. Something got closed.
Yeah.
I reopened it. Update active members. Mario associated it with something that he did, which was done. And then that marked it as done. So I think we're going to move this to done for now, but evergreen topic, finding better ways to make sure that the comms team is notified. Do you want to take a look at what he attached it to?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Update active members in comms. Yes, we talked about this last week. We had implemented some tools to better inform us, but the issue was that our group was very old. Our GitHub team for the comms team. So he updated the comms team during the meeting, and I approved it during the meeting. That was a whole thing that happened. So we were calling that good with that for now, but always something good to revisit later. So I'm going to mark that it's done, but it will come back someday, and it should. Spotlight on SIG infra. This was an Akansha thing that we need a Frederico update on. linked into Kates.io and Kates.dev. I think Sayaka is working on something related to this. Yeah, we think this is dependent on fixes that Sayaka is making. I reopened it and no one else has commented. Sayak did a thumbs up though, so I think that is accurate. And the 568 that you mentioned that you thought would fix it ended up closed but not merged.
Fun. No, like this has been a ongoing problem. I will say, I did find a thread, or no, somehow someone showed me a request to add a Kubernetes logo to Font Awesome. So I said on my own socials, hey, this would be great to have. And just me mentioning it bumped it up from number 9 to number 8. So I wonder if we should also maybe mention it. I don't know.
Creative comms, folks. Comms in the
Yes.
form of adding a logo to a font.
Well, it's a font library. I
Font
mean, it's
library.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes. Yeah.
That's the word.
So, yeah, like I can dig that up, but it was interesting to see how like just me mentioning it moved the ranking like ahead of a Microsoft thing, I think.
That,
So, yeah.
honestly, do we want to communicate as the Kubernetes project that our logo is available in a font library if you want to talk about us?
Well, the big thing is that it's not there. And we would then be asking folks to like upvote the issue essentially. Let me dig it up.
Oh, sorry, cat.
Oh yes, the leaderboard. Here we go. Let me drop a link in chat.
Awesome.
I can take care of it, Kathleen.
Kubernetes logo question mark?
Yeah.
Put that into new items, I think.
Yes. So yeah, I dropped a leaderboard in chat. Let me link it in our notes.
Thank you.
Awesome Kubernetes logo. Do we want to ask folks to upvote this?
Many of our most popular icons started as a request from the Font Awesome community. Keep track of the most popular icon and brand requests and see which ones are being worked on or just released. Yeah. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And Kubernetes logo is number 8.
It was 9 when I looked earlier this week. So, yeah.
Fascinating.
But notice like C# has been there forever and still hasn't really gotten one. So has
yeah,
a
but they're not
Golang
as
Gopher.
Cool as us.
I know, but like to kind of spill water on that thought, Golang is at number 3. So,
but they're also not as cool as us. You see, Kubernetes is the coolest.
Got it. All right, fair enough.
Okay,
I do
so
think
like,
it's also funny that there's a C++ request.
Like, I have no idea what this is. So like, like when you,
So all the iconography for like social networks on Kubernetes.io, that all comes from Font Awesome, which is, as we mentioned, a font symbol library of sorts. So basically, you import CSS into your website. You say, "Hey, I want to display these icons for these links," and off you go.
Oh, so basically, Kubernetes logo is not yet added in the library, right?
Correct. This would be
so if we wanted to put
more attention to the voting issue.
So if we wanted to put the Kubernetes logo on Kubernetes.io using Font Awesome, we wouldn't be able to do it. But adding it to the library means that other people can do that. So the question is, do we want other people to be able to just put our logo on their sites willy-nilly?
Well, it's not willy-nilly, right? Like they could say like runs on Kubernetes.
Yeah.
Like on a product site, for example, and they could just have the Kubernetes icon there. So it's
How
not
much control
necessarily
over that messaging do we have through Font Awesome, though?
none. 0.
Exactly.
So,
like-
yeah.
But like we could put in the Kubernetes logo and someone could make a site about how Kubernetes sucks and put the logo all
I
over
would
it
be
using the
okay
Font
with that.
Awesome.
I would be okay with that. Free speech is fine.
So,
But I see your
Interesting
point. Do we
question.
want to make that easy?
so like I have a question. Like, what is the difference between uploading a logo, like someone uploaded it to a S3 and uses a link, and what is the difference between using it via this, like Font Awesome?
There's nothing stopping anybody from doing that either. So,
Someone can make a site about how Kubernetes sucks right now, for sure.
yes.
So it's not like it really changes that.
But just this is the easy way to go to this.
For like specific types of content on websites, right? Because you're using it as a font, so you're using it like within text fields instead of uploading it as an image, I assume is the benefit here.
Oh,
Is that right, Chris?
Yes. It would just be a CSS, like Sprite or SVG reference kind of thing.
Like putting in the party
Okay.
popper emoji instead of putting in a picture of the party popper emoji.
got it.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I
So,
will talk
figured I'd
about that
mention
with
it.
other leaders.
Oh, and somebody already owns Kubernetes.sucks, the TLD. I just want to
Of
point
course
that
they
out.
do. Is the
It
site
doesn't
good?
resolve to anything, but yes, it is there.
Aw.
So that could be Bob.
I kind of
just,
wanted it to be.
that could be Bob just holding on to it too, by the way, or somebody else holding on to it.
It could be. It could be.
Yeah.
The CNCF holding
Just
it
for
for
reference,
us.
for reference for the newer folks, Bob Killen, longtime contributor, works at the CNCF right now. He used to squat on certain sites or domains that might be of use or disuse to the community. And yeah,
Kind
that's
of-
why we have Kubernetes.dev, for example, I think.
Kind of like the problem that we had with LinkedIn, where a member of the community was
Yes.
squatting on that for us so that nobody else took it and did bad things with it. And then
Right.
we had to talk to them to get it.
Yes. And of course, the first person I went to was Bob, and he was like, oh no, that's not me.
Understandable.
Yeah.
We have 5 minutes left. I saw that Darshan is on. I bet you want to talk about new contributor orientation. We've got the next new contributor orientation coming up in August. On August, let me check the date real quick. The third Tuesday? What do we do?
I think
August 19th should be the
yes.
next new contributor orientation. And Darshan has wonderfully been taking on a bunch of those. I took over it this month to try to get my head back in the game. It didn't work as well as I would have liked.
Oh no.
Though I do
I
have
see.
a few thoughts that I have on new contributor orientation to throw out on this topic. Apologies, Darshana. I'll make sure that you have time to talk about what you want to talk about with it. But or at least as best I can with 5 minutes. So I gave the content as usual. Folks said that it was good. I think that one thing that I've kind of been wanting to do is to flip the content for the new contributor orientation, because the things that people really want to know are at the end of it. I feel like once we get to like the good first issue trap, like common pitfalls stuff, people really relate to that kind of stuff, and also the contributor ladder, I guess, like describing here's what it means to be a contributor. You are a contributor already, but here's the ladder that you can go up with. So I've been thinking maybe we should flip it and have like new contributor or the contributor ladder first to explain you are a contributor, but here's how you can grow. And we're going to talk about more details on that. And then we go over like the whole community structure and things like that. And then maybe also put pitfalls at the top, though I'm not exactly sure how the narrative works. I haven't figured all that out yet. But I kind of think we might want to flip the content is one thing. and 2 is I've been so busy lately trying to run the content as well as like put up all of the like promotion for it did not work last time. So maybe if we divide and conquer, Darshan, maybe we can do a better job of it next time. So those are my couple of thoughts on new contributor
Yeah,
orientation.
I'm all for it. We can plan offline for sure. So I last week I committed to interview or figure out who I should talk to in SIG storage. Ziang, but that's a tech lead. Our tech lead, she has agreed for an interview. I just have to figure out time and place for more
What did you want
info.
to do with that interview? Remind me, because we've got the video project going on. We can always do blogs. We can have them come into new contributor orientation and be an additional host. Like there's all sorts of ways that we could use that help.
Yeah,
What
that's
were
a
you
great
thinking?
question. So right now, even at SIG storage, we are short of engineers. So the idea is to inspire people how storage and the way the storage is heading, especially Kubernetes workload. With the advent of AI/ML, everybody is now wants to do AI/ML. So I
Which
want
storage
at
is very
least,
important for.
yeah. So my tech lead,
Kind
she
of need it.
wants to highlight that and then see where it goes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Normally, we would turn that into a spotlight blog. We could still do that. We have to be a little bit careful about dealing with the blog reviewers, and it's probably going to take longer than we might
Yeah.
like, but we could definitely still do that. But I like the idea of putting that into new contributor orientation as like a lightning talk component of the session because it has a lot of space there intended for Q&A. I don't want to take up all of that. I definitely want to still a good chunk of Q&A so that folks can ask their questions about contributing. But I think having like a active lead who wants help in there telling people about it would really make people interested.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, like I would like, even if it's
And
just a
Arpit is
recording of the
interested in doing.
request. Yes, thank you, Arpit.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a recording of the request that we play like for a couple NCOs, I'm cool with that too, right? Like it doesn't have to be live on the call at that moment.
True, whatever we can get from this lead.
Yes. Be it words or video or whatever.
Yeah, I'll have to figure out the time and schedule. So answering Arpit's question, Arpit, I don't live in India. Yeah, I live in Cupertino. So
Yeah. You
although
could
I
still
want
be
to talk
going
to
to
India.
KubeCon India.
Right. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't preclude you from going to KubeCon India.
Yeah.
But that sounds like a no. I assume that you are not
Yeah.
going to KubeCon India.
Right.
No, I'm not going.
Like
So,
no,
no.
like no worries on that. We can always record meeting podcast for that, like if you want.
Yeah, that's true.
Also like coming back to like Kathleen thoughts on like contributor new orientation. So what I am doing is I am actually giving the new contributor orientation live at talks. So instead of like in CNCF local chapters, I am like presenting it as a 25-minute talk because there's a slot of 25 minutes. So I am like basically what I'm doing is I am cutting out on couple of things. So I don't cover good first issues because it's reached to a point that everyone knows that they will not be getting one. So
Do they?
I
I feel
am
like most people
yeah
still expect that they will get one and that it will be a
no.
good
So
idea.
like
Most people I talk to. You might be in a
yeah.
different
So like
audience.
yeah. So basically, someone came to me and I generally gave a one-liner answer like, "Don't look into good first issues because you will not be getting one." So there is a much better way of contributing. So
That's
basically,
true. That is our message.
because yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, because for me it's a time constraint, I cannot give a whole 1 hour talk. I have to do a Q&A as well for 5 minutes. So it's a 20-minute talk. So I have to skip on, like I have basically trimmed it down to fit into a 20-minute slot. So what I basically cover is the contributor ladder, like how one can jump to the contributor ladder. And I figured out that explaining what is org membership is fine, but covering the rest of the like contributor ladder in a short go is perfectly fine because someone who is not even a member don't know about like what is an approver or something, so they can actually uh, learn it like while learning, like they can learn it on the go. So explaining what is the first step is most necessary, what we can do. Second, what I have trimmed out on that, I basically explain what is a SIG, what is a WG, and what is communities. And I don't explain what is like scopes, like vertical, horizontal, and that, because that is sometimes confusing to a lot of folks. Like, and its significance also, like justifying why you should know it is
Yeah.
like is it is tough for a new contributor to justify it that you should know what's the scope of a SIG. So
Yeah,
rather than
that's
what I
very
say,
true.
like these are some of the most important SIGs, yeah, you should know about, like SIG auto scaling, SIG infrastructure, SIG storage. So like these are some of the most important SIGs you should care about. Then I basically move on to like what are the contributing opportunities, because that is the hot thing, like everyone is interested about, like how they can contribute. And
That's awesome.
most of the Q&A what I do is regarding that, like what are the opportunities and all. So basically every evergreen one are from docs and ContribEx, and some like the tech opportunities. Basically what I did is I updated them based on, I asked some questions on the Slack, like what is the recent one. So I did it. So we can do that, like we can include in the new contributor orientation. We can open up a SU for every SIG. They can actually comment out like what are the current work opportunities, and we can include it in then every month orientation. So that is one thing. Like that are my thoughts on it. Like we can even trim it down, and we can uh, increase the Q&A. And one thing what I did is like I did a demo. Basically, instead we have like snapshots of how to navigate to a thing, like the GitHub repo is screenshot. Instead, what I do is I literally give a live demo, like opening the GitHub and like
Yeah.
showing that. Plus, I
Yeah.
showed like couple of DMs. Like one of them is like the very first message I messaged you about how to write a blog. So I just blurred your image and name, and I just saw that okay, this is a way you can reach out.
You can show them.
Yeah.
Happy
Yeah,
for
but
folks to ping it.
obviously I don't know about the guidelines. So the
I
every
appreciate
message I
you doing
did.
that.
So I basically blurred the content. I just thought like this is a way you can reach out. So we can do that, because
Yeah.
some of the questions which folks have from India, at least what I can tell is they are very hesitant to reach out. So we can actually uh, like uh, uh, like actually encourage them to like reach out. Like you can reach out and you can reach out in a particular way. So uh, helping them out with that logic. So one thing I have noticed after giving live talks and like having live discussion, these
I
are my
love this
thoughts
so
on.
much. I like the idea of incorporating lightning talks into this meeting. Today's lightning talk was Arpit talking about giving new contributor orientation.
Oh yeah. It's
I like
awesome.
the idea of cutting the horizontal vertical explanation of SIG scope, because it is very hard to understand. So if we wanted to cut down time, I do think that's a very good call. I
Like
think for the
uh,
average like online new
hmm,
contributor orientation, keeping the pitfalls is probably a good idea. We get a lot of positive response to that on the online ones, but thank
Great.
you.
Yeah. It's great.
like I can
And we're
send you the updated PPT
yeah,
I
that'd be
have
wonderful.
created, so you can have a look on that too.
Excellent. And we are 6 minutes over. Apologies, everyone. I
Holy
hope
smokes. Okay.
yeah. Hope you didn't have another meeting to get to.
Nope, I don't, but I didn't realize what time it was.
That's why I try to let folks know. Apologies for being a little bit late on it today. But that was really a wonderful overview, Arpit. So we should talk more on Slack. You, me, Darshan. There's that channel that I created, like DM thread group that I created with us and Mario and the one other person who was interested in helping in Europe for the new contributor orientation. Could you ping that and be like, hey, we were talking about this today, and we're talking about making some changes to the content so that we can get a conversation going over there? Thank you. All right. And with that, any beyond last minute items before I turn off the recording? folks have been hanging out with us for an hour, and you're all still here, and you're all amazing. Thank you for being here. I know
Yes,
it can
thank
be
y'all.
a little challenging to get started in our group and in our community sometimes, and being here is the most important thing. So I do have time to hang out a little bit today, I think. But I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. So thank you for joining us today, YouTube.